Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Balance of Opinions podcast. This is an interview. We do these every once in a while. I got my guy here.
What up? What up? How you doing, my man?
I'm okay. I'm okay. So, RTC Profit. I'll call you Profit for now, but let me first ask, what does the RTC mean?
RTC stands for Rise to Conquer. Rise to Conquer.
Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
then it's the
Is
Rise to
it?
Conquer Profit.
That's a fact. There's layers to it though. There's layers to it. We could break it down in a minute though. Still, there's
Okay,
layers
okay.
to it.
All right. So, first things first, man, when did you get into music?
Honestly, I was writing from the time I was probably around like 5 years old. To keep it a stack with you, like remember when? I don't know if y'all remember when that first hip hop station hit Calgary, Kiss 969,
Yeah, they
and you
sold us
first
out.
start hearing. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
They
fact. We
sold
ain't
us
gonna
out.
speak on that.
They were battling with the other radio station, and the
Yep.
minute they won, all that hip hop was gone. They went right
That's
to pop.
fun.
I was like, oh my goodness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Listen,
true enough.
so were you born? Were you born here in
Yeah, I
Calgary?
was born in Calgary. Most definitely, I was born in Calgary, Rocky View Hospital, actually.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
yeah, because it's usually rare that we have artists of your caliber, and this is my opinion of your caliber that are usually born here. You know what I mean? A lot of times they're implants, right? They come from somewhere else, and then
Yeah, most
they
definitely.
start loving the city, and then they want to do a 1-2 thing in it. But so you say you've been rapping, you're not rapping, but writing since you was 5 years old.
I'm
What
like
made you
5
pick?
years old.
What made you
Honestly,
pick?
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Sorry to
Okay,
interrupt, my man. I'm gonna keep it a stack. But like when I first heard one of the first songs I heard on that radio station, Kiss 969, was "I Can" by Nas. And I'm like, dog, what the fuck is this? Like, I heard that song for the first time, and I'm like, dog, I gotta try to do whatever this is. I gotta try doing. So around that time, like me and my cousin, we used to make those little cassette tapes, like record a song off the radio, end up playing in the car while my grandma's driving around or whatever the case is. And I'm like, yo, this shit kind of flies. So like we get home and I'm like, I try writing to it. I try writing to the beats. Try putting a little something together. And the first shit obviously is gonna be whack, but
of
you get
course.
better over time. You get better over time. Put in your hours, your reps, and all that. And I just loved it. Like there was something about the music, the hip hop that just like it drew me to it. I was like, this is just. It was something different from whatever I heard at home because prior to that, my mom would always love playing like records, them vinyls. She'd always be
Yeah.
playing stuff like old gospel, like the Staples singers. Whenever we be in the house, just whenever the CDs playing, it'd be like Erica Badu, would be Janet Jackson, it'd be like India Irie. So I grew up hearing a lot of soul music and a lot of gospel. So it was something different from what I was used to, but at the same time, it was something that I could resonate with. So that's basically where the inspiration came from.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that detailed message. A lot of times I ask people that, they're like, yo, man, I just thought about it yesterday, man. Like, you know what I mean? You're actually breaking it down. I know, I really appreciate it because this interview isn't for me, it's for everybody else. I want to give them the information. I want them to understand the person that they're listening to, and the lyrics that are coming out of your mouth are based off of your life and based off of your experiences. And to know that you have a soul gospel kind of, now I understand a lot of the songs like The Last Dance. Do you know what I mean? Or, A Cold Day, A Cold Game. You see what I'm saying? Because there's more meaning behind it than just the words.
Yeah,
You know what I
true
mean?
enough.
You're telling a story. You say Nas, okay, now I really understand why you have the name that you picked. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
just something like that. So out of the songs that you released, how many albums have you released?
Honestly, I released my first project. It was a mixtape called The Bear Market in 2017. And
Okay.
in 2018, I released another EP called Hevel, which is actually like an old Hebrew Israelite term, which means like actually Hebrew language. It means like ghost or sort of like smoke, like something that has not much um not much value to it. So it's like oftentimes when I name something, there's multiple meanings to it. Like for example, the bear market, the first mixtape I dropped, a bear market in terms of, the economic system in terms of the stock market, that's a period of time where, there's not much opportunity for trading. There's not much opportunity to make money in the market. And I kind of saw that as like a comparison of how I saw Calgary's hip hop scene at the time. Because like based on the artists that I saw making music, I was like, I don't really see people putting in the work. Number one, to get where they claim they want to be, and number two, I don't feel anything coming from a lot of these artists out here. It just seems like it was something people wanted to do just for the sake of popularity. So I don't know. That's like whenever I name my album, there's always depth and meaning to it. Because I like to speak on real things. I'm not just the type of person that likes to make party records and stuff like that. So, but yeah, two mixtapes before then. I released another 5-track EP in the summer of 2020, and I'm currently working on another project called Persona Non Grata.
Okay, that's nice to hear. Now, those mixtapes, where can we get them? Spotify, Tidal, where they at?
You can find the one I dropped last summer on Spotify. Title it's a project. It's a 5-track EP, and one of my favorite tracks on there we can talk about later is a track by the name of My People. But yes, Spotify, Title, Apple Music, all that. It's a EP, 5-track EP called Never Forget Loyalty Volume 1.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
man.
So also, I wanted to talk about your videos because I've watched them. So I see your very first video, and then I watch the rest of them, and I see the progression. Is this you doing this, or is this a group of people that you've started with who've evolved? Just a
It's
question.
definitely it's definitely a team associated with the whole progression. Um, my boy AJ Birdie, his IG Bird Photography, he's been my shooter since about 2018. But I like to edit the videos myself because I like to always have a very close um, interaction with all aspects of the music. Like when I record, I like to create a preliminary mix myself before I send it off to get mastered. Videos, like I said, he shoots them, but I edit everything myself. So yeah, we got in-house producer as well. Yeah, his name is
Oh,
BD Wave.
okay.
BD Wave, artist, producer I went to high school with.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely a team effort though. Like I feel it'd be wrong of me to try to take all the credit for the progression that's occurred over the past couple years because we've definitely had our struggles collectively and we've had our successes collectively.
Okay. That's good. Is there any projects that they're working on that we should be paying attention to?
AJ is always shooting something. He shoots a lot for different artists in the city, guys like Re-Up Rose, guys like Nino C's. I know my boy Didi Wave is definitely working on his own like instrumental tape right now. So I'm not too sure when these guys will be dropping, but I know for a fact there's always something in the works.
Okay, okay. It's just you talk so much about your team. Now, you know what I mean. I'm like, yo, I might have to get them over here or pull up on you guys one time at the studio and just lock in and see what's going on.
Yeah,
I used to rap when I was younger too, man. I was with numerous groups doing it. My feeling was, I wanted the exposure. I didn't really want the money. You know what I mean? I knew that was going to come later, but I wanted to perfect my craft. Now, things didn't work out the way I wanted to, and I went back to the streets and other stuff like that. And I've been doing this podcasting thing for a bit, and this seems to be my jam. You know what I mean? My wife's been super supportive of it. So, I just, like I'll tell everybody else, including you, once what I'm seeing from you right now, continue on it. You know what I mean? Don't let people put success their meaning of success on you to be that's the end all be all. Do you know what I mean?
enough.
A lot of people
Yep.
sometimes think being wealthy is having tons of money. You know, I would look at you and listen to your situation and feel like you're a very rich man because you've got your team with you. I see the progression. I see the passion. I see what you're doing. Hey, man, you rich to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't know
man.
how other people are
Right.
gonna feel about it, but that's their problem because they ain't paying no bills. Whatever they say ain't paying my bills. Definitely ain't paying
Yeah,
yours.
true
You know what
enough.
I'm saying?
True enough. That's the
Now,
thing, man. They say. Sorry to interrupt again, but yeah, they say health is wealth too. You know, so as long as you got your mental right and your physical right, then you're winning.
exactly. Now, The Last Dance, the song that I heard you perform at my cousin's release party. What is the meaning behind that one? I feel like you feel like you really are Jordan, and this is the last dance. Like something gonna happen to you, and that's how I feel listening to the music, because hearing it at that hall, it was hard to hear because you know what I mean. Things are kind of distorted, but to sit down in my own place or have my headphones on, be at work or whatever, and put it on, I can imagine. You know what I mean. You're feeling
That's
through the
dope.
music. So give me a little breakdown of that song, sir.
I don't know, man. When I heard the beat initially, I had just finished watching the Last Dance series on Netflix, and I was like, bruh, this dude really was the greatest, yo. No word of a lie. I was just feeling hella inspired, and I don't know. I just was like, yo, let me get to writing right now. So I've played a beat that someone has sent me, and I was like, yo, this shit kind of hard. And just like that, the cadence of it got that hook going. Like where I was like, I'm feeling like Mike in The Last Dance, because it's like really and truly over the past little while, I've been, I don't know, to a certain extent. There's times where I'm feeling like I'm almost falling out of love with music, because sometimes I hear a lot of the music that's released these days, and I don't find it too inspirational. Like I don't find like it has soul to it. For example, like I used to love that New York style of rap where guys have like the mad metaphors. People
Yeah,
love
the
to call
boom
it
bap,
rapidy
the
rap.
boom bap.
Yeah, that's a fact. People love to call it rapidy rap. And I used to love just like the intricacies of it. But I'm like, these days you hear people doing that and there's no substance to it. There's no soul to it. And at the same time, a lot of the trap music too doesn't have much soul to it. Certain people have, you know, some types of production that you'll hear from guys, especially guys from Louisiana. Like, I don't know, I've been listening to Fredo Bang a lot. His
Yeah,
music, it has that soul to it, but a lot of people don't. So I've been feeling kind of like uninspired to a certain extent. And so I'm like, maybe this is the last project I release, at least for a little while, until I can live life a bit more, and then put that life into the music. Because they always say good music comes from, you know, great
good
art.
times.
They say comes from life, from experience. So I'm like, maybe this is the quote unquote last dance, at least for a bit, until I live life. I push, my other endeavors out a bit more. Try to make, you know, something a bit more sustainable, and then
Yeah.
come back and put that all into the music. Then people might resonate with it even more. So
Oh, for
like
sure.
that's basically where the inspiration from that song came from. And the song honestly wrote itself. Like that was the easiest song I've ever written, and it's the one that a lot of people resonate with the most. So
Yeah, because it's you. Like I feel you on the whole. Music doesn't have a soul right now. You know what I'm saying? And the sad thing is, like, I can probably count on one hand the artists that I feel their songs, their music is genuine. You know,
it's a
of
fact.
course, I'm gonna sound like a groupie, but it's Kendrick, it's J. Cole, okay, um, even 50. Like, even though 50's kind of moved out of the music lane, when
Hmm.
I listened to 50 coming up as a kid, you know what I mean? And I knew about 50 like at least a year before Calgary even got to him. Because I
Yeah, those
one of my
mixtapes.
co-hosts, my cousin, he was in New York playing ball. And when he came back, and this is like right after high school. So when he came back, he had all this 50 Cent stuff. I'm like, yo, who is this guy?
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
were killing it, killing it, killing it. And then Calgary, the actual hip hop heads or people you want to say are hip hop heads, they caught on. But I knew about 50 at least a year before Calgary knew about it. But that's just because my cousin brought it back to me. You know what I
mm,
mean?
yep.
Because you have to remember the internet wasn't what it is today, where like you can
Just
find
passing out
music
the
like
actual
this.
CDs, like the mixtape CDs and shit.
You see what I'm saying? Like he came back with
Yeah,
mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
real.
talking about the Smack DVD joints too. Like I knew
That's
about Smack
crazy.
before people out here even knew about Smack. And like I
Yep.
love battle rap. So back to what I was saying, yeah, a lot of the music now is very soulless. It's there's a terminology everybody's been throwing on the internet, and it makes sense, right? My era of music, they were drug dealers. This era of music, they're drug users,
Yep.
drug abusers, right? And I'm not saying that the lifestyle that they portray is appropriate, but when you listen to Rakim, when you listen to even LL Cool J, you
Cool
can
G rap.
feel the music.
Yeah.
You understand it has meaning. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go to Public Enemy and stuff because I like Public Enemy, but they're not something I can turn on all day. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, I can't. You know what I mean? And I
You
listen
could
to
you could look at like the West Coast version of that, which would be Ice Cube though, like I could listen to Ice Cube shit a bit more easily than Public Enemy.
yeah. Well, no, well, that's what I was gonna say. Like I listened to East Coast, West, and South. Now,
Yeah.
predominantly, I'm gonna be biased to say I listen to way more West, and I'm talking about like E40, DJ Quick, Mac 10, Ice Cube, of course, Snoop, Daz and Corrupt. Like that was even Crooked Eye. Like that was my ish. Do you see what I'm saying? Now with East Coast, it was kind of 50 in them. In the South, Little John, Pastor Troy, T.I., Jeezy. And when you were saying talking about trap music not having soul, it's true because Jeezy and T.I. don't really make trap music anymore. They're just making music now. When they
Yeah.
first came up, it was trap music. I mean, Fabulous is another guy for me. Like between him and Jadakiss, I know the verses made people put Jadakiss top five, but I was saying Jadakiss was top five before that. And right now, let me take this a moment. Jadakiss, if you ever see this, I apologize for downing you in the locks, okay? It's not that I wasn't rocking with y'all, man. I just the wave that Dipset had for that 6, 7 year span made you feel like it was 20 years, especially because of Cam. And I knew in that versus battle that Cam was the only one that had a catalog that could have maybe put a dent in D Block because a lot of people don't pay attention to Sheik and Styles P's just put out so much content. You don't know when he's going to, not drop something. You know what I mean? Jada was very calculated in everything he drops. You know what I mean? Styles P was just like, I got the product, boom, let me bang it out. You know what I'm saying? So yet again, Jada, I apologize, man. I apologize to you, Sheik. Don't worry, Sheik. I got a lot of your mixtape, Sheik. I'm not saying I ain't got no love for you. I just know that I can go on the stream and be like, yo, Sheik Loops is nice. And somebody say, yo, what you talking about? He's whack. And I might end up having to punch him in their face. But you know what I'm saying? I gotta leave those things alone. Violence is not always the key. Okay, we should be able to disagree on something, have good discourse, and be done with it. But to you, sir, what is your influences in music now, or aside from what you already talked about, what were your influences with hip hop that gave you maybe the style or what I mean, the thought process of how you wanted your music to go?
When I first started making music, I don't know. Okay, keep it a stack. Take it back to junior high school. I was in junior high school probably around like 07 to 09 or something like that.
Yeah,
It was around that time, basically right after Nas dropped Hip Hop Is Dead, right? And I
yeah,
legitimately felt the same. Like I was primarily listening to West Coast shit like Exhibit, Snoop Dogg, like Blue Carpet Treatment. I don't know, a lot of West Coast shit, And I was because I didn't really want to listen to a lot of the music that was coming out at that time. It just didn't feel. It felt like how it is now to a certain extent. It didn't feel too inspired,
okay,
So that was my early like influence, primarily like West Coast guys. But then shift to when I first started to write music, I was definitely had a bigger East Coast influence. Like the entire bear market mixtape that I dropped in 2017, I was
yeah.
probably listening to a lot of Fabulous at that time. I was
Oh,
listening
that's
to a
a big
lot
old
of
video. You guys,
facts, man.
and the
I was
crossover
listening.
that he had, the crossover,
Yo,
like
he was dog. Fab is nice. The thing is, like, a lot of people claim the man just doesn't have like that classic album, but I don't know.
Soul Tape.
Shit like, yeah, the tapes. Yeah, don't even get me started on the tapes. But I'm talking
No,
about like
I'm
his
just saying
first
like just Soul Tape in general, right? How
fat,
about
fat,
Death Comes in Threes? That whole series, like
yeah.
I understand you never had an album, but the
But even
body
nah,
of
dog, because
work.
if you take his what was it? His I don't know his second or third album. Because you had Ghetto Fabulous, that shit was crazy, and then you had the one that had like Real Talk on it, Real Talk. It had Ghetto. It had In My Hood. It had that track with Jeezy. Ah shit,
Yeah,
can't
yo,
remember the
I
name
know
of it.
exactly what I know the song
You
you're
know what
talking about.
album I'm talking about though?
Yeah, I know what album you're talking about. Keep talking. I'm gonna look it up. I got it on my phone just
Yeah,
so we can
man,
give
most
people
dead.
clarification because I know exactly what album you're talking about.
But yeah, like I don't know, around that time, those were a lot of my influences when I was writing. On top of that, obviously, cats like J. Cole, like he was one of my favorite rappers all throughout high school. Because when he first dropped that track, when he dropped tracks like Who Dat and Lights Please, I was like, oh, who the fuck is this? Because I was like, yo, this seemed like somebody was bringing that feeling back, you know. And then I heard guys like Big Crit. Big Crit is
Oh,
heavy, heavy, heavy on my,
so yo, Big
you
Crit.
know.
I'm sorry I didn't mention you, my guy. I'm sorry. Like you know what I mean? But it's just so many artists that I listen to from back in the day, even up to now. Like I still bump Spice One. People look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, why am I crazy? Yo, that was made in like 1992. I'm like, and it was still good then,
Nah,
and it was
Spice
still
One is
good now.
crazy.
And
Spice
that
One is
album
crazy.
was Street Dreams.
That's a fact. That's the one.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. But yeah, him and then honestly, Wale back around like 2010 to 2015, Wale was probably my favorite rapper. Just like based on the wordplay they utilized and shit like that, like Wale was
yeah.
a heavy, heavy influence. But yeah,
Okay,
so
I never really got into Wale though. Like I liked him, but
man,
I think the way he
you
was
gotta take
marketed.
in mixtape Wale. Mixtape Wale is a different Wale. That's the thing.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, man. For real. Mixtape Wale is a different Wale. But yeah, man, and the guys like just in terms of like my overall influence, I love guys like Mos Def. I love guys like I don't know if you know who OC is.
I
OC was
think
in the Digging in the Crates crew with like Fat Joe and Big L and all that.
yes, I heard of him. I probably didn't, but because like even Fat Joe, like if people ask me who I'd rather listen to all day, it's Big Pun over Fat Joe. And it's not that I don't like Fat Joe. I just felt like Big Pun had an original style, and Fat Joe kind of tried to take his blueprint and then add his own style to it. And I couldn't really, you know what I mean? I couldn't really do
Absolutely.
that. It's just like Pop Smoke. I love Pop Smoke to death. If Pop Smoke didn't do drill, I would have thought he was trying to bite 50. You see what I'm
Okay, I
saying?
see.
Like if his style wasn't so much more different, because his sound was the same. You could hear the
Yeah,
pain in the voice. You could feel like if you close your eyes and listen to certain songs. I know people are gonna tell me I'm crazy, but if you sit down and listen to some of Pop Smoke songs, just even his album that just got released after he's dead, close your eyes and listen to some of those songs, and he's
you,
painting a picture for you.
that's the thing too. Even their vocal tones are kind of similar. Pop Smoke and 50 definitely got similar vocal tones.
Yeah,
But I don't know. The thing is, Doug, honestly, like I started listening to that UK hip hop probably around 2016, 15,
Grime,
16, 17.
Trill.
Yeah, I love grime, dog. Honestly, grime. I don't know. Like they call Wiley the Godfather of grime. I listened to Wiley for like a year straight, just his albums alone.
Oh,
But
Heady One.
that's who I first heard. That's who I was hearing more influence from when I started hearing these guys in the states, like the Brooklyn drill. Brooklyn drill is straight like UK beats, to be completely honest.
Well,
You know.
to be honest with you, little hip hop historian here. Drill is from the UK. The
Yeah,
first
that's
people
a
that
fact.
actually start doing it that weren't from the UK is actually Chicago. Once
Chicago,
Chicago
Chicago.
did it, then other states like Brooklyn and New York in general started doing drill. So
But that's the thing. Chicago's drill sounds nothing like UK drill. It's a completely different like style of production, completely different
no,
style of spitting too.
no, of course, but the concept of it though. Do you
That's a
know what I
fact.
mean? Because
Yeah,
everybody's a rapper, but there's rappers that are in different lanes. You know what I mean? Like Jadakiss and LL Cool J, just to match two different styles. They're both hip hop. It's just
yeah,
I would say LL Cool J's is a little cleaner. You know what I mean? A little shinier.
yeah.
Jadakiss is from the
Got
dirt, the
it.
mud.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So
That's
when he
a
spits
fact.
certain bars, you feel them joints. Like you
Mm-hmm.
feel him. That's another reason why, not to keep bringing this up, but at the verses, once I started hearing mixtape songs, I almost shut my computer off. I'm like, this is a body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he, when somebody's killing you with mixtape hits
Mm-hmm.
and the crowd is singing it, that lets you know they got a grip.
Yeah,
You know what I
true
mean?
enough.
Like, they put out meaningful music. I used to be a big Kanye fan. A lot of people say Donda's a good album. I think it's trash. That's just my personal opinion. I thought I was going to get dark, twisted fantasy. There's the
Okay.
breakup, and he puts everything into it. I'm not saying he didn't put his whole into this album. Maybe just because he's gone wonky, that's why this album's like that. But dark, twisted fantasy, that like I felt like I was Kanye. You know what I mean? Because some of the stuff he was saying and going through, I'm like, I ain't got no money, but I can still relate to it relationship wise and world wise and the way people may view me and the girls I was dealing with and the situations I was in. I listened to Donna and I was just like, and I'm not even a Drake fan anymore. I was a Drake fan when he first came up, but Thank You Later, at this people, I'm a married man. I've been married for 10 years, okay? Listen, I was listening to Drake because that's what the girls liked. Okay, he had nice flow though. I'm not gonna act like he had a nice flow, but like if I was playing Drake, I had a shorty over. I wasn't just playing Drake in the shower. You crazy? That's not me. Okay, I listen to hardcore rap. Like that's just been my thing. You know, my wife sometimes looks at me crazy. She's like, I know you listen to Fabulous and stuff, but do you always have to listen to this murder, murder, kill, kill? I'm like, stop it. It's not murder, murder, kill, kill. It's just somebody telling a story from their neighborhood and their trials and tribulations. And with your music, I feel like it is an experience of you. That's
Yeah,
why I
true
enjoy
that.
it. I don't, there's a lot of musicians, I'm not gonna say their names, they make their music is industry music. Your music isn't street music, your music is experience music. That's how I look at it. Life music. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Most dead.
every artist is different, but like I said, I just wanted to let you know that. But anyways, the interview's not about me, it's about you, sir. Sorry.
My man. But yeah, dog, it's like really and truly, I don't know how to make anything other than the type of music I make, to be completely honest with you. Like I don't know how to put myself in like the mind of someone that's, up in the club popping bottles of Moet. Like that's just it's not me. I can't do shit like that. I just have to what I write is legitimately based on experience. Like sometimes I'll have old friends hit me and be like, "Oh, I remember referencing like I don't even remember the line exactly, but one of my early tapes, I said some shit like, uh, caught my like we used to there used to be a 7-Eleven by our store by our junior high school, and basically like sometimes you got issues with certain people, you got to deal with these issues at lunchtime and shit,
Yeah.
and
Or recess,
I
whatever the breaks
that's
are.
that's a fact, that's a fact. So it's like I remember back in the day, you had like these Jones sodas or like the old Sobeys, and they came in like the glass bottles. And one of the lines was like, "Caught my drinks in glass in case I had to bust some heads with one." So it's like I remember people hitting me years ago, and they're like, "Dog, yo, I remember those days," and this, that, and the third, because it's just like I feel that's what makes music relatable is if it's based on your experience and other people. Everyone's basically had a similar experience if they're from a certain area or a certain upbringing. So that's
Yeah.
what makes it relatable. If you can tap in with what's true to you, then it'll be true for somebody else, at least to a certain extent. So that's just what I love to make, and because I love that type of reaction as well. When someone's like, "Well, I got fuck with that," like I can relate to that. I can feel you on like a deeper level. So that's just
Okay,
me.
so I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. Give me your top five rappers of all time.
Okay, Tupac and Nas always my top two. It's like
Okay.
interchangeable. Tupac and Nas. I'd probably say three. Big Pun. Four. Mos Def. And that fifth spot. That fifth spot is always tough, man. I might say Ti at five, to be honest with
Sir, how the heck you got Tupac, you don't put Biggie on your list?
you.
I
And
know the
Biggie's
body
top
of work
10.
is so
Biggie's
small.
Biggie's. That's what I mean. It's two albums, dog. I can't put him top 10 with two albums. The thing is, the difference is I can put pun there because the only reason I can put pun there is because of his technical ability. Like Biggie didn't rap like pun. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Biggie did not have the technical ability of pun. That's just my perspective. Like if you
Okay.
look at shit, what's the name of the track? There's this one track near the end of Capital Punishment. In the second verse he comes in and saying something like, "Hey yo, the clock ticking, I'm picking the locks at the back entrance, paying attention, not trying to get knocked to catch a fast sentence. Not to mention these kids are mafioso with lots of doso. They got the popo locked in the Donda Rock Baraka chokehold." Like Biggie never put a rhyme scheme together like that. Biggie put some fly shit together, but he never could rap on the technical level of pun. I'm gonna keep it a stat.
You know what? It's hard for me to agree with you, knowing that he wrote for the whole entire
The Junior
mafia.
Mafia and Big
Okay,
Bad Boy and all
Kim,
that.
like Kim has some bars you know that don't belong to her. Little C's has some
Right.
bars you know. So it's like, yes, Big Pun maybe might have had a little bit more technical than Biggie. Biggie had Biggie was the first fat dude I see, big, black, and ugly, that can make girls jump out their panties
Yeah,
with
that's
3
a fact.
bars.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Come on now. He's out here talking about New York
Yo,
basketball players he
I put big
robbed.
six. Like I put big six. Like
Okay, okay.
I put big top six, but like that's the thing, dog. I just like number one the discography, just because he only has two. I don't count like shit like the Biggie duets and all that. You know,
Okay,
like
hold on. Let me cut you off here for 1 second. So why not Lil Wayne? He's got the why
Wayne
not
is in my top
Jay-Z?
10 too. Wayne is definitely in my top 10. Jay is
Okay, but
definitely
your
top
top 5, they didn't
top
make the
five is
cut.
different. Like dog, Wayne was my favorite rapper from shit, probably '05 to 2010. You know, like Wayne, dog, mixtape Wayne is a different type of it's a different type of animal, you know, like
Yup.
and I started listening to him. Honestly, the first song I heard from Wayne was Go DJ because I used to play this racing game called Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition,
Yeah,
right?
I used to kill that joint.
Dog, that shit
Late
was
night with the
fly.
friends, trust
And
me.
that song Go DJ was on that album. So I'm like, yo, who the hell is this? This shit sounds kind of fly. You know, you obviously go on like LimeWire or whatever the hell you had at the time. You type
Napster.
in Lil Wayne. That's a fact, most definitely.
Hey.
But dog, and then you start to hear like just like because obviously I didn't have albums at that time. I just had access to these random songs you pull from all across the internet. And I'm like, dog, this dude is nice, you know. And I started hearing that around like '05, '06. And, you know, like basically up until he drops No Ceilings, Wayne was my favorite rapper. Like, you couldn't touch that guy in my opinion. But like just based on how the last I don't know, probably from like 2011 to 2016 went, I'm like, I don't know, man. He dropped a lot of bullshit in that period of time, you know? Like
Yeah.
a lot of
I
bullshit.
I tell people after the Carter 2, I tuned them out.
I hear you. I
Like
can see
after
that.
the Carter 2, like the album, I did listen to, because No Ceilings I think came out after that. Because No
Yeah,
Ceilings is
2009, something like
around the
that.
time you had Nicki and Drake and they were doing the YMCB thing heavy. And
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of YMCB members. Jay Mills is still one of my guys. I still bump him. Um, who else? Pistol Pete's kid. What's his name, man? Corey Guns. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was killing him for a minute. Gouda or Gada or however you say his name. A couple of his songs were all right. Tiger, I gave Tiger no play. I felt like Tiger was just a backup dancer. You know what I mean? One of Britney Spears people. No disrespect to him. He got more money than I do. It's just I wasn't really messing with that type of music he made. You know what I mean? Taste is like the closest I'll get to ever giving Tiger any type of props. You know what I mean? But yet again, that's a club joint.
Yo,
Now,
Rack City went hard. What you mean, dog? Rack City
yeah,
was
but no,
hard.
but that's what I'm saying though. After Rack City, the
Yeah, that's
last
a
thing that he
fact.
did was
That-
taste. You know what
That's
I
a
mean?
fact.
Rack City's a given. I mean, everybody and their mama jumped on that beat
Yeah,
and
true
killed it,
enough.
right? So it's like he made the song's good, but I can find 10 different versions of that song that I'll listen to before I even put his on. You know what I mean? Because everybody else, especially early 2010s, people were killing other people's music. There were certain rappers that had gritty beats, but they didn't put it together in Fabulous or Jadakiss or You know what I mean? Even old man Jay-Z would come on, steal the beat,
Yeah,
and kill it. Give you a
for real.
whole different perspective with the joint, right? Um, now, are you still performing in shows? Is that kind of hard right now, or you're kind of just sitting back working
I
on the
mean,
album?
it's whenever an opportunity presents itself, but like that, obviously there's not too many opportunities for live performances right now. So the
Yeah,
thing
this
is,
whole COVID issue is messing up the money.
yeah, that's a fact, man. Because it's like, dog, they say independent artists make the majority of their money off of touring
Tours.
and merchandise. So it's like you kind of have to figure out a different way to monetize the music. So that's kind of like what the play is right now. Because obviously you can't make as much money as you would doing shows previously. I remember the last live show I did was like not the last live show, but I mean the last one I put together was in 2019. And we made a nice little piece of change off that, but it's just not been the same opportunity since then. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so for the time being, it's primarily just working on music. Like honestly, I have like 30 tracks written in my phone right now. I'm just trying to honestly pick between which ones I want to utilize for this project. So
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Um, you want to let me know what your goals are in the next 5 years? Because I see YouTube. Your YouTube is popping. Like you don't have
yeah,
nothing.
it's
You
growing
don't. You
definitely.
barely have anything underneath a rack. Everything's racking up practically, right? So
Yeah,
what
man.
you?
It's sorry to interrupt again, but
It's
it's like
okay.
it's just different ways of marketing. Because like I realized that honestly, ever since Facebook bought IG's not really been the best place to promote yourself. To be real with
Nah,
you,
it's
'cause they be
TikTok
trying to
now.
monetize everything. That's a fact. But like because like I've been on Twitter since the time I was in high school, like 2010 or something like that, and honestly, if you connect with independent artists on Twitter, that's honestly the best move because they'll push your shit in whatever city they're in. Like I connected with so many people in Detroit, so many people in New York, so many people in like random places, Chicago, just like places that you wouldn't really have the influence to connect with otherwise. But you show them love, they show you love, and you build a bit of relationship like that. And that's honestly why the numbers have been going up on YouTube so much lately.
Okay, so are you on Clubhouse too?
I was. I definitely use Clubhouse. Honestly, I haven't been on there in a couple months though. Like,
Okay.
Clubhouse is a lot, man. Clubhouse is a lot.
I would tell. I'll tell you another app you should try. I don't know if you heard of it. It's called Stereo. Okay.
Okay.
Shameless plug. I'm on Stereo. I do a lot of my not music. I do a lot of my sports podcasting, game casting on there. Also, I got a couple people I'm gonna give a plug out to. You know, regardless of the views I'm gonna get on this, make sure you'll download Stereo. YouTube as well, Profit. It is not a program, a great app where you can really build something. There's a group of individuals, Twix Baby, Livewire, a couple other DJs. Like Livewire's a DJ for no, not him. It's DJ Upgrade. DJ Upgrade is Too Short's DJ. He's an artist himself. He makes music. They have this thing called Stereo Versus. Okay, when you download the app, you let me know. You can find me King ECG. All right, I'll make sure I direct you. You can go there and play back some of the stuff. They had Gucci Man against Jeezy. Oh, not Jeezy against Jadakiss. They just did um Ludacris against Ti. Like a lot of the verses that we already kind of wanted to have, but they haven't materialized. These guys have done it on this app. You know what I mean? And like DJs, there's tons of musicians on there. You know what I'm saying? There's ways for you to connect with more people. You know what I'm saying? So to everybody, including you, Prophet, check it out. Make sure you go through that. There's gonna be some toxicity on it. There's toxicity on everything. Okay. Word to the wise. If y'all go back and check my Twitter, because I joined 2012. The stuff I said on Twitter between 2012 up to like my last tweet for like maybe 2 years, toxic, toxic. Okay, my name on Twitter is Eat Crushed Glass. You know I'm coming with a bag of smoke. I'm coming with no manners. My name, right, is King Eat Crushed Glass. You gotta understand. I'm a very humble person. I'll be very respectful. But if I gotta turn up, I'm gonna turn up. That's just how I be. You know what I mean? And meeting you at my cousin's thing, I felt your energy, super positive. You know what I mean? It took me a minute to get some other stuff together to even try to get you up here for an interview, but yet again, listening to your music, I appreciate you, my guy. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Even though it may seem like you're not really getting where you want, any road travel is usually got to get the foot through it first before it can be paved. You've got to build the lane first before you can pave it. So, young man, sir, my guy, you're on your way, man. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Is there any other plugs or anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? Because I don't want to hold you too long.
Nah, no worries, man. I really ain't got too much more to say. Conversations could go on forever, but we could just cut it here for now.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely get you back. Like whenever you're gonna be dropping a new video, or whatever, just let us know. You know what I mean? We'll support. You know what I'm saying? If you're on IG, we'll link up after this. You know what I mean? Figure some stuff out, and we'll be good to go.
Oh, sounds good, man. But yeah, just you can find me on every streaming platform, every social media platform. RTC Profit.
Okay.
RTC Profit.
All right. Thank you again, my guy. Uh,
Appreciate
you
it,
already
man.
know what it is, people. It's your boy King Crush Glass. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you another time. Don't worry, we coming with heat. It's just we doing 2 podcasts on YouTube. You might see me and Da Vinci. Sometimes you might just see me. Sometimes you might just see Da Vinci. We're very busy people, but peace and blessings, and y'all take care now.